Welcome back, everybody. To those of you that were here yesterday, sorry about the technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a Trovo stream without it, but hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear, and hopefully you can hear Luke loud and clear.
Fingers crossed.
So let us know in the comments if you guys can hear us. All right, Trovo, let's see people. A lot of you guys are just entering. So welcome on in, and then, oh, perfect. They can hear us. Guns a-blazing, you guys. All right, I am super excited. So let's give a couple minutes for everyone to get in, and then we can go ahead and kick the stream off. I know I'm super excited. It's been a while, Luke, for you. When was the last time you were on the Trovo channel?
Oh, when was the last time we did something? It might have been one of the EU Dev Corners, probably well over a year ago now. So yeah, long time.
Wait, did someone just say you can't hear me? Nico, you can't hear me or Luke? Because Mike's been good on my end.
I've just checked the stream and I can hear both of us, so I think we're good.
Okay. Okay. You might just need to turn your volume up, Nico. All right.
Crank it.
Okay, perfect. All right. Welcome, everybody. We can go ahead and kick this off. I am super excited to be presenting you the very first episode of the Trovo Podcast. I know you guys joined our past few dev corners. We told you this is something we wanted to do. A lot of you guys wanted us to do this. Hopefully you guys saw the poll that we did on Twitter asking what our name should be for the podcast, and the overwhelming majority of you actually voted Tea Time with Leon, which I have to say was kind of a joke from my end, but I guess, you know, people say joke names are the best, so we're here to serve up the tea. Just to introduce myself, if you're not familiar, my name's Autumn. I work on the Trovo Ops team, and now I'm going to be throwing it over to the favorite face of Trovo, Luke, aka Lieutenant Zonda.
I wouldn't say that, but thank you. My name is Luke. I've been on the Trovo team now for well over 2.5 years, I think it is. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I work on ops. You probably drop me emails if you need any support and stuff like that. So yeah, always here to help.
All right, I see you guys are coming in. So you guys thought this was an April Fool's joke. No, it is not. We are here. We kind of want to switch things up on Trovo, and we don't want to just talk about things on Trovo. We want to talk about stuff that's happening in the industry, any insights, trending topics, because we think it's really important. And honestly, we just love to kind of hang out with you guys and do the stream. So hopefully you guys enjoy this as well. All right, go ahead and drop your questions in the comments. Hello, everyone. But yeah, let's kind of get to the topic of today's podcast. I really wanted to discuss multi-streaming. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's something that we here at Trovo have always promoted. We've been partnered up with Restream.io. But before we kind of get into that and why I have Luke here, Luke, can you kind of share your history of being a streamer and a content creator?
Oh wow, we're going years back. So I guess I originally started creating content on YouTube probably 10 to 12 years ago now. I originally started watching Call of Duty montages and Call of Duty commentaries from the likes of Optic Gaming members and Operator Perry and stuff like that, and CNNers and all those old school names you youngsters probably don't even remember anymore. But I originally started making Call of Duty content. I brought myself a little Horpage HD PVR. I used to record myself jumping off of the top of the Rust map, doing no scopes and trick shots and 360s and stuff. And eventually, kind of after a few years of doing this for fun as like a teenager, I think I was probably about 16, 17 at the time. I then got into live streaming. I originally started off over on Twitch, where I streamed there as a partner for 6 or so years, I think it was. I got quite lucky. I blew up on a game called GTA 5. I say a game called GTA 5 if no one knows what that is. It's still relevant now, really. And yeah, I was streaming that for many years. Did a bit of FIFA, still kind of a bit of Call of Duty. Was quite lucky. I got an opportunity there. I then moved over after a while. I liked the idea of kind of streaming to other platforms. I didn't like the idea that I was exclusive to Twitch at the time, and I thought, you know what, I wanna try something new. So I terminated my partnership over there, and I moved over to a platform called DLive at the time. Which is like a crypto-based platform. It's quite interesting, kind of a interesting way for community members to kind of get involved with the blockchain and stuff like that. And I guess after that, obviously, I discovered Trovo, and the idea was that I still kind of wasn't satisfied with just any one place. So I thought, you know what, I want to be platform agnostic. The idea was that I was moving away from a singular platform and trying to be everywhere. And I whilst trying to do that, obviously, I kind of fell in love with Trovo at the same time. So my idea of being platform agnostic went a little bit out the window, as I did focus on Trovo. But the idea was that I wanted to be everywhere. So I was still streaming on Twitch to my old community there, still streaming on DLive to my old community there, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, which was Periscope at the time, I believe. And obviously Trovo. So I had like 7 different outputs on Restream.io. The idea was that I wanted to be everywhere. I wanted to get my face out to as many different places as I could. And yeah, obviously after streaming or so for another 6 months or so on Trovo, I got the opportunity to join the Trovo team, and now I work here, which is pretty cool. So there you go. That's my content creator story in a condensed version, and that still took 10 minutes.
Well, we love it. And I know here from the Trovo team, we are happy that you've been a huge part of the Trovo growth. So, and it's been a pleasure working with you. So I'm glad I can finally get you on stream. For those of you guys, I want to hear in the comments, how many of you guys actually multi-stream? And for those that don't, why don't you? And we'll get to those questions or feedback, and I'll be saying them out loud on stream. But Luke, I noticed that you mentioned being platform agnostic. Obviously, we're Trovo. We're always Trovo first, but we've always promoted multi-streaming. And I kind of really want you to dig more deep into why you think it's beneficial, or maybe why it's not beneficial to be platform agnostic.
Yeah, I think when it comes to kind of having somewhere that's solely dedicated to just one place, you're kind of limiting yourself. You're kind of giving yourself tunnel vision and only going for kind of one task. And I think when it comes to just kind of live streaming platforms anyway, that's not always the best way to kind of try and get as much growth as possible. I think typically, just kind of going off of live streaming in general at the moment, but typically sticking with just streaming means that you're not going to get the same discoverability that other platforms can offer. If you look at live streaming platforms, they're all built around a directory. And whilst that is good if you are highly ranked in a game, in the directory in a game that has getting lots of new viewership and people clicking around and searching that directory, but at the same time, it doesn't work in the same way that YouTube works, for instance, with a search. No one really utilizes the search bar on a live streaming platform because they look through the directory first, which obviously has its pros and cons for discoverability. But then on YouTube, you've got the search bar, which everyone utilizes, and that is the main way of finding content. So it's very specific to finding content that is a way for you to be discovered, using tags, whatever. You've got that. Then on the other hand, you've got like TikTok and Instagram Reels, which is a feed-based system. And I don't think a discoverability, well, whilst the Trovo obviously has some incredible discoverability features, I don't think you're ever going to get the same level as discoverability from a discovery-based, a directory-based platform as you would compared to an SEO or a feed-based platform. So they all have their kind of pros and cons. So I think, first of all, just kind of tunnel visioning yourself into just one platform is going to limit you being discovered in other ways where you could potentially find new audiences that are very specific to your niche,
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I agree with all of that. Also, off topic, someone really made an emote of me, and y'all did me dirty because that's a terrible, terrible shot of me. Who did that? And why? At least get a better angle of me. Come on, you guys.
Love it.
But yeah, brilliant. I definitely agree. Just a little bit of history from my experience. I've been working in the content creation space for the past I don't know, like, 7 years, I've worked for a lot of different social platforms. And, I've seen, like, when working with streamers and influencers and creators of all kinds, when they put their eggs in one basket, what happens if that account got a ban, or like, for example, like Mixer, if that platform disappeared, all that hard work that you put into that one place kind of just disappears, and you kind of have to start from scratch somewhere else if you're just putting your eggs in one basket. That's why I've always been a proponent of, trying out different platforms, just staying platform agnostic. I think also, like you said, discoverability, also more monetization opportunities, and more ways to also promote your, like, obviously we want Trovo to be your favorite home. And so it's a great way for you to promote your Trovo channel somewhere else while also engaging in the other opportunities that you have. And I really think can help as your growth as a content creator if this is something that you are pursuing full time. So
100%.
let us know what your guys' questions are. There are rumors that Trovo will go back to its old way of working, i.e. it will go back to Sati reaching rank. I don't understand that. What do you mean Sati reaching rank? I don't know, but all I can say is, as Trovo, we're always growing. I don't think we would go back to the old way of anything, because we're always trying to improve ourselves, and just keep pushing forward. But Luke, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, yeah, I think a lot of people get stuck on the idea of just growing their following on a specific platform. As you said, whilst it's great to grow your following, your community on Trovo, at the same time, you want to be growing your brand. You don't just want to be growing in one individual place and siloing yourself to that place, because, as you said, if you're a streamer, like we saw with Kai Cenat, who got banned on Twitch, we've seen the downfall of Mixer. There's so many different ways that potentially you can lose that avenue, and if you only have one revenue stream, and that being your only one, then you've kind of screwed yourself, and it's the same thing with building a brand. You want to build your brand and your name and your community across all these platforms. You want to make sure that if you're on 7 different platforms and one of them gets banned for a reason that's out of your control, you're still prominent on 6 other places. It's less of a hit than, for instance, losing your main source of income, for instance.
Definitely. I know from my experience working with different content creators, and like the ones that kind of siloed themselves to one platform, and then when that one thing went wrong, either like their views were dropping because of algorithm changes, or they received a ban, or et cetera, they ended up disappearing because it was too hard for them to start over on another platform, because they were already so far in the game on one platform. We're going to the other one. It was just, the idea of having to start from scratch was completely heartbreaking. And that's also sad too, because you work so hard and it just like kind of disappears. So really, really important to grow your brand.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest shames about Mixer, is there's so many people that lost that opportunity, and it's heartbreaking, because it takes such a hit, and so many people, like streamers, lost their motivation after that. And it's a shame to see so many creators lose motivation with something they love doing because of a situation that happened to them, when I'm not obviously not saying it's their fault, but if they'd gone down the route of being platform agnostic, then that might have saved the opportunity, and instead of having to completely rebuild somewhere else, they might have had the opportunity to continue building off something they once had.
Yeah, I actually see a good question. Why don't you guys offer more for streamers on this platform instead of encouraging us to stream on other platforms? And one part, I think we offer a lot on this platform. I think out of all the platforms, we have the best monetization features. We are like working on some case studies so we can educate you guys more on how to better use these features, and we have seen like truly amazing success stories. And regarding us encouraging you to stream on other platforms, it's not really us encouraging you to stream on other platforms. We're encouraging you as a content creator to grow your brand, because at the end of the day, Trovo is always going to be first for us, but we also care about you guys, and we want to see you succeed. If you guys succeed, then Trovo succeeds. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Luke.
Yeah, we're not encouraging you to stream elsewhere. I'm encouraging you to stream other places to then bring that audience to Trovo. No, but it makes sense though. If you look at it from that perspective and say, well, if you're creating content in multiple different places, and this is one thing as well that I think we need to push to more streamers on our platform is create short form content, create content that you can share on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, that is short form and can help build up a community, take advantage of their brilliant feed based discovery, and then drive that audience to Trovo, where you can monetize them better. As I said, Trovo probably has one of the best monetization features across multiple streaming platforms. So having the opportunity to be able to monetize your audience in a stronger way than, for instance, on those other platforms where you rely purely on subscriptions, for instance, revenue or ads, when you've got a variety of different monetization opportunities here, and the ability to drive that audience that you've built up from other platforms to a place that monetizes better, can genuinely be another good revenue stream.
I'm seeing a lot of dev comments. You guys, this is the first episode of the podcast for Dev Corner. Right now that's on pause, but we are kind of moving Dev Corner to Reddit. So we'll be doing a lot of AMA and stuff like that. And feel free to DM us privately. But for this stream, we're going to be sticking to kind of just chilling and talking with you guys about this topic. Go ahead, Luke.
I was going to say, Game Slash it's a valuable point. I think realistically, it's very difficult for any streaming platforms to offer more than a 50% split sustainably. We obviously do see other platforms in the industry trying to do that at the moment. This is purely based on my opinion, but from the insight and knowledge that I have of the streaming industry, is something like that isn't really sustainable. We're able to offer a higher revenue share in our T500 program in a scaled and tiered format to a point that we believe, that we know is sustainable for us. Any higher than that, then we would probably question the sustainability of other platforms. But looking at the current state of the industry, and even looking at Twitch and the current layoffs and stuff like that, even that has proven that it is a difficult business model for them at that 50% sustainability model. So what I think will happen potentially in the future is, if the technology behind delivering streams and delivering content is reduced in terms of cost, so for instance, reducing our infrastructure costs, which should happen as time goes on and the industry develops and technology develops, so on, server costs, etc., reduced, then we might see the industry standard of a revenue share increase. But until that time comes, I don't think it would be sustainable.
Yeah, I agree with that. And to also add on to that, I think we've discussed this before. At the end of the day, we are a business, and while we are here for a good time, we also want to be here for a long time. And as Luke mentioned, right now, other platforms, what they're practicing isn't sustainable. And we're working really hard to make sure that we actually are really on track for that. And while there are other really lucrative opportunities that are being offered right now, history has proven that's not going to last for long, and we're kind of just waiting. What we're saying is going to come to fruition. So just basically just watch and see. And that's another big reason to not limit yourself to one basket. If you're saying, oh, this platform's offering me more money, well, for how long? History has proven itself, and the biggest competitor, the biggest giant in the game, Twitch, still isn't profitable. So that kind of gives you all that you need to know.
Yeah, I think that's what then links back to a good point of being platform agnostic. As I said, take advantage of these new platforms and their new opportunities and what they offer. But don't forget that leaving another platform like Trovo that you've built a community on and built solid monetization and a solid revenue stream on, leaving that behind for potentially an opportunity that might not actually be as lucrative as it could seem, could be a bad move. So taking advantage of something like Restream.io, restreaming to everywhere, take advantage of the old platforms, Twitch and YouTube, etc. YouTube's a great one for SEO and discoverability, but we've all seen that the Facebook, YouTube, etc., they don't have the monetization features that Trovo has, for instance. So as I said, take advantage of them, but don't put all your eggs into one basket. Stick with what you've got and expand upon that.
Super. I see your comment that Trovo needs a short form content section for all streamers to post their content, expand their platform. One, that's a great idea. And two, that is actually something that we've been discussing and looking into. So all I have to say to that is just stay tuned. I think you guys know over the past year, maybe even past 2 years, we've been churning out feature after feature after feature. Our dev team is really hard at work. We're taking your feedback and we're trying to make it happen as soon as possible.
Another interesting. See, this is what I kind of like about this new podcast format. Actually, is it's a bit more engaging conversation because it's less about, I guess, us as Trovo staff giving a Trovo dev corner product updates and everything official. It's more of a general chit chat and a chance for you guys to be able to interact with us and see our personal thoughts. This is not necessarily Trovo's official opinion. It's definitely not. This is our own personal takes. So this kind of leads on to another one. I think I just missed the question, but Game Slash, I appreciate your back and forward in this and getting involved. Yes, that is correct in terms of different companies have different backings. But I think what we also need to understand is a lot of projects and companies, even if they may be owned by a huge umbrella company like Amazon, for instance, they still have to run independently as a successful project. No overall big company is going to take a loss on one of their project companies, even if it has synergy and offers benefits to the overall umbrella. They might be able to sell advertising cheap, for instance, to Twitch, but individually as a project, they're still going to require that project to be profitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big thing. Just to reiterate what Luke said, with this podcast, specifically Tea Time with Leon, kind of in the name, don't look at us as Trovo devs today. Look at us as people within the industry that are kind of just sharing their own personal opinions while also plugging Trovo, of course. Maybe a little bit of biases there. But yeah, so that's how we want this podcast to be received. Regarding any dev stuff, like we're still going to be answering that. We're just going to be moving it to a different type of format. Trovo beats any streaming platform for chat interaction hands. I will say that, yes, we do. I think besides monetization features, I think we have like one of the best communities out there. I don't know where you can get like the one-on-one interaction with actual staff members compared to other platforms. Other platforms, I don't even think, yeah, does Twitch even do like a dev corner? I don't think so, or anything like that, right? So go ahead, bring your questions in.
So in Kubernetes, I believe that's like a bug related thing. I think if you can report that via the Discord, or if you just want to DM me personally, I can chuck it in our bug report channel. So feel free to anything I said, because this is in the dev corner, anything dev product related, feel free to DM to myself or Arnon personally, and we can either chuck that bug report on and forward it on for you, or if you want to report via the Discord or the space and stuff like that, we can help out with that. But yeah, obviously not being devs, we're not too clued up on the intricacies of fixing lag issues.
I keep seeing the comment that Trovo needs more collabs soon, any types of collabs, and I 100% agree. That is something that we're working on. But speaking of a collab, let me shamelessly plug, if you guys want some Leon Lime, we have partnered up with Glitch Energy to make our very own flavor, and you can get 20% off if you use code Trovo20. I'll drop the link in chat and pin it in a second. But yeah, there's a collab for you, and I personally love it. Leon Lime is a great flavor. Normally I don't like sour flavors, but it's not that sour. And also the packaging is so cute of Leon, so I would just get it for merch purposes on its own. Let's see. Luke, see, everyone's your fan. I told you you're one of the favorite ones here. You have a stunning beard. Why is Luke looking at me like that? Okay. What are some other takes that you have, on what we haven't mentioned about why it's important to expand your reach? I think it's also better to engage with communities. You can access more communities, and it's easier. Like if you have a community on one side and you're trying out a new platform, that's a better way if you're utilizing like Streamlabs or Restream.io.
I think my other take would be, and I'm allowed to say this because I was formerly a content creator myself, but we as content creators can be a little bit lazy sometimes when it comes to trying to do everything we can to get to where we want to be. And I don't want anyone to take this badly, but if you do feel it relates to you, then you understand, okay? But I feel like a lot of the times as content creators, we often feel like we expect more from something than potentially we put into it. We see it all the time with streamers like when I was a streamer myself, expecting Trovo to be the be all and end all ultimate opportunity or success for me, but without taking advantage of some of those other platforms to be able to build upon that success that I have here, wouldn't be able to get me to where I need to be. If you're on Trovo and you're streaming all day every day, and you're not getting the discoverability that you believe you deserve, then maybe you need to think that maybe that's the maximum that I can take out of just Trovo. And I need to then consider looking at somewhere like YouTube and creating video content, or TikTok and creating short form content, to be able to bring in extra, build your community and brand elsewhere, to be able to then drive that to Trovo. I think that's the one thing that we as streamers maybe don't like the idea of. What we're being told is being told that we're being lazy because we're not willing to do everything that we could do to potentially try and grow our stream, because all we're doing is streaming. I was very guilty of it. I could not be bothered to make YouTube content and edit them. I could not be bothered to make short form content. Editing was like my biggest thing that I could not stand doing. And that's why when I discovered streaming, I loved it. And I tried to stick to that as long as possible. But when I got involved in streaming, I got very lucky. I was around in streaming pretty early on in the game. I was on Twitch early, and I blew up from a game and got very, very lucky. And the only reason I think I got lucky from that is because I used to stream 12 hours every single day for 2 years straight. You can't do that nowadays because the industry is incredibly saturated. So what you need to do is you need to take advantage of TikTok and the potential viewership there. You need to take advantage of YouTube and the potential audience there. Even taking advantage of Reddit, for Christ's sake, is probably one of the best opportunities to take advantage of, is look at all these other platforms, see what you can potentially take from them, where you can get some exposure on there, how you can share your name on there, your face on there. You need to be willing to get your face everywhere and anywhere, And if you're not doing that, then that's probably why you're not growing. It's a harsh take, but it's kind of true.
I mean, it is true. If there's anything you want in life, you have to work hard for it. It's not just going to come to you just like that. I guarantee all the favorite content creators that you follow that are as big, they all started from the bottom and they grinded to get to where they are. So if this is something that you want to do full time, this is what you want to make your career, your passion, then it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. But if you put the blood, sweat, and tears in, then I firmly believe you will see your hard work pay off. I would also say try and look where you can ride the wave in new places. Don't just do what other people are doing. For example, for TikTok, TikTok's really blowing up on the gaming scene now. A lot of people are reposting, clips there and utilizing that, and they're seeing a lot of growth on there. But I worked at TikTok a couple years ago, and gaming was just basically unheard of on TikTok. That's not, you went to TikTok for dancing and lip syncing and all of that, so you could be that first person to start that new trend. So always be on the lookout and see where you can repurpose your content elsewhere and start a trend.
So here's an interesting one from ICGX Reaper. It says Trovo needs to work more on rewards that motivate low streamers to grow. Now, I think we do that in a pretty good way, but at the same time, a lot of the times when people say we need to do more rewards, a lot of it is money and financial, which is not typically sustainable. So instead, we work on building sustainable rewards. And one of them is actually the invite task feature. Now, this is a new feature. It's an invite-only thing. You can message myself if you want to be approved for it. And I think probably quite a few of you guys here maybe already are. But if you're in the T500, you've probably been reached out to me to get it turned on. But the idea of the invite task feature is it's a way for you to be able to refer new users, new viewers. And if they refer and come to Trovo and they top up and they buy Elixir, as well as obviously probably donating it for yourself because you brought them here, you will also actually get a kickback from their rewards. I think you can earn up to 10%, up to $50. So every viewer that you earn, you can earn a good little amount of Elixir as a reward for incentivizing you to bring your viewers over to Trovo and incentivizing you to try and grow external platforms so you can refer users over. So what I'm saying is probably don't expect more rewards that aren't sustainable, where you are just being expected to be rewarded for providing no value. Instead, you need to realize that you're only going to receive these rewards and receive these incentives to grow if you're able to provide value. And what this new invite task feature should do is be able to give you guys another revenue stream that for basically wanting to try and grow your channel, Does that kickback come in generous? It comes as elixir, so you can either obviously spend it on you other streamers or just donate it to yourself. But yeah.
When someone asks, when you say reach out, where or who is the best to reach exactly, you can reach out to Luke, you can reach out to me, Stone Crypto, Rose Smith, any of us, even Diego. If you guys can reach out to any of the admins, we're always happy to answer your questions. And where you can reach us, you can definitely reach us on Discord. Also here in Trovo Space, I'm always checking my DMs. So on Trovo Space, I'm just XOnMX, and on Discord, I'm just on them because I don't have a nickname. Everyone has a cool nickname and I've never had one. So someone help me come up with a nickname. Because Luke, what are you, Lieutenant Zonda? Give us the story behind the name. Actually, I want to hear this.
So it's not actually as exciting as it sounds. I got PlayStation 3 for Christmas one year. Got Call of Duty 4. I needed a gamer tag or a PSN name, whatever it was. And I was like, what do I go for? And like before this, I'd never had like a real gamer tag, so to speak. So the PS3 was the first time I was like playing online and stuff like that. I think before that I was playing probably Call of Duty 2 on my dad's PC. Anyway, I needed a PSN name. My favorite car at the time, Pagani Zonda, still my favorite car. So if anyone works at Pagani, hit me up. Not that I'll ever be able to afford one, but I just want to sit in one. So Zonda for the Pagani Zonda, and the LT literally is just my initials, Luke Taylor. But at the same time, I was signed up for Call of Duty, so I thought, Lieutenant, Lieutenant, it looks kind of cool, sounds kind of cool. So there's the story. Not very exciting, I'm afraid.
I think that's cool. At least you have a name. You guys in chat, please help me come up with a gamer tag. Give me anything. Well, something cool, but anything. I need something because everyone tells me like, why are you just on them? But I like my name too, so I guess that's iconic as well.
Game Slash, the invite link also does do a link and not just a code as well. So you basically just send people your normal referral code. If you go to the stream, you press share. That code will also track invites as well as the link will also track invites as well as the code. So the invite task feature does do the code and then also your normal sharing link as long as you've got it enabled. So all good. But yeah, think of Arnhem a name. If this was the Call of Duty days, it would be XX Arnhem Quickscopes XX. That would be the username back in the Call of Duty gaming days. Everyone had XX at the beginning and after of their name. Triple Quickscopes Arnhem.
That's why I put X on a Max, because I remember back in the day everyone was putting X in. But I'm like, I need something cooler. All right, guys, let us know your questions. Again, dev questions, feel free to DM us, anything related to the topic. X on 420 Iceman. No, that's too long. That's way too long. A natural, undeniable MILF. I'm not even a MILF yet. Not for a while, hopefully. But I aspire. My mom's a MILF, I will say that. So sorry, Mom, if you're watching this, but you are.
Windy Massive, that might have been the streamer referral program. We've discontinued the streamer referral program, and now we've started up the viewer referral program. As the viewer referral program is more sustainable, the way that it's set up. So hopefully it's here forever, here to stay.
All right. Let us know.
Smurfy Tunes, anything to do with dev stuff, we probably won't be able to answer here, but we do obviously have a partnership with Streamlabs, and I believe they're constantly working on implementing different things into Streamlabs to make Trovo fully integrated. I believe we're still in beta with Streamlabs integration, right? Or is it kind of a bit more developed now? But either way, yeah, eventually it will have everything, I do believe.
The freaking emote is that emote is cracking me up. I can't. Sorry, guys. Can we keep the healing spell as a spell? I can definitely let the dev team know. What are your questions, you guys? I was invited to Trovo through a code, but that person left. So will that affect anything? No, I don't believe so. As long as you utilize the codes when they were still here. Luke, what do kickbacks what kind of kickbacks do owners of agency get?
So I think this is for the new ads trial, right?
Yeah.
So at the moment, we're only in the phase of testing ads, and I believe the I don't want to say it because I don't know the confirmation on it because this is something that the product team are testing. But yeah, but basically, whilst ads is in testing, anyone that has ads on their channel and is part of an agency, I believe the agency will get whatever value is generated from those ads sent to them, and then they can distribute it to you guys for the test. It's entirely up to you between your agencies. Once obviously ads is a fully released feature, as I said, this is purely for testing, just to make sure it's actually worthwhile, because as you guys know, ad rates and CPMs can vary massively across different regions. And we obviously have to try and get different ad networks and stuff for different types of ads for different regions, etc. But we obviously want to make sure that ads is worth it for you guys, so you guys can build upon another revenue stream without basically absolutely spamming the hell out of your channels and making a penny, you know? So that's what the testing is for. Once it's obviously been fully tested and we can release it into out, then it will become a full feature on Trovo where you'll actually earn ad revenue individually through that. But yeah, I believe at the moment, just because it's easier for the product team to do it with agencies to figure it out. But there you go. If you've left the agency but still have ads, I would probably reach out to your so you would have probably been reached out to, or the agency would have done by a regional manager. T-shirts, mate, if you want to just DM me personally, I'm more than happy to look into it for you, or I can redirect you to whoever is the regional manager for your region, for instance, and yeah, hopefully be able to sort that out for you, mate. I guess it's a situation they probably weren't expecting.
All right, I'm gonna pivot the conversation back. It's getting a little bit more devy, and y'all, we're here to serve the tea with Leon. So again, if you have any dev questions, just feel free to DM them to us. Luke, so I know you've been streaming. You've been picking up the streaming again. Do you think you'll ever kind of try and return to content creation? Maybe not full time, obviously, because
Yeah.
Trovo. But like, what's going on with that? I want to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, I've been trying. So, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of platform agnostic, and even though I work at Trovo, I still wanted to stream to everywhere that I could. So for the last month and a bit, I believe, I was streaming to kind of everywhere, just to kind of have a bit of fun again, trying to just kind of dedicate myself to playing some games in the evening, just to kind of try and take a break from everything, just to play some games. And obviously doing it live is always good. You get to play with a few old friends, play with a few other streamers and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's been really good. It's really enjoyable, actually. Surprisingly, I think I picked up a few subscriptions on a few different sites and stuff like that. So I think over my course of streaming for a month, I only made like $20-$30. But yeah, it's something, you know. It's just cool to be able to kind of go back and stream again after such a long time. I have stopped again now because I feel a bit overwhelmed with work and stuff like that, but trying to enjoy a bit more family time and whenever I'm not working. So, but I don't know. I don't think I would ever go back to being a full-time streamer again. I'll be honest, and this is what I say. Like, the difference between being a successful content creator and being a creator trying to have a bit of fun or get by is that dedication to doing absolutely everything you possibly can to be able to get that potential growth in those revenue streams, you know. And I'm too much of a lazy content creator nowadays. I don't think I've got that motivation, that drive, or even especially not the time to be able to do everything possible to try and grow, to be able to be a full-time content creator again. And that's what I respect, is the creators that are doing that and are actually killing it. I respect that massively because I know how much hard work that is. And I don't think I could ever do that again. I'm more than happy working a normal job and being able to clock off at 5 p.m. or whatever in the evening each day and be like, you know what, this is family time, you know. If I was still a content creator trying to kind of make it, or trying to, unless you're one of these huge guys that makes millions and millions or whatever, I think the majority of us have to kind of work 10, 12 hours a day, you know, to be able to try and turn content creation from a passion to a career. And yeah, I ain't got the time for that anymore.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for content creators. Just, you guys do a lot. I don't have the energy to do that. Like, I feel like I will say it's not boring working at Trovo. I wouldn't say it's a normal 9 to 5. Like, we get
No.
a lot of cool opportunities here. We get to do stuff like this. Interacting with you guys is always amazing. So one, I definitely wouldn't want to work in the content creation space because rather behind the scenes. I do want to work in content creation just behind the scenes rather than being the forefront of it. Yeah, I see. It's a lot of work.
I think for a lot of people though, that's kind of the end goal. Is I always kind of said that for myself as well, is that I wanted to be a streamer or a content creator up until I was roughly like 30 years old, and then I wanted to secure myself a job in the industry. And I think that's what a lot of streamers don't realize as well, is when you are a content creator for so many years, you do actually build up quite a bit of experience in stuff that is valuable in the industry. At the end of the day, if you've been successful in building a brand, you're probably fairly good at socials. You're probably fairly good at marketing. You're probably fairly good at kind of operations, technology, tech, and the behind the scenes working of a stream. You know, like there's people that get degrees and stuff going to learn how to run like a sound. I can't remember the word for it, but like sound studios and stuff where they learn all the different channels and how to configure audio and stuff for TV and broadcast and stuff like that. You know, so there's so many little things that you learn being a content creator that you do it all yourself. A lot of people even do their own graphics and design and stuff. You know, so by the time if you've been trying to do this as a job or a career for X amount of years, by the time you're ready to transition to a job or use it as a stepping stone to be able to get work in the industry, you've built up so many different skills, and you've probably built up a pretty extensive portfolio of all of these skills, and have a pretty good way to be able to show them off, you know?
Yeah, I've worked with so many people, like from someone that has like, you know, I went to school, I did the whole degree thing and all of that. College, well, I had a fun time in college, I'm not gonna lie, and I would not trade that time. And I did learn some valuable things. Everything that I've applied and that I like the skills that I have in the workforce right now did not come from school. It came from nitty gritty working in content creation. Luckily, I was able to hop into a social media platform early on and really kind of grow from there and be a content creator for the social media platform while growing the platform. So yeah, like the skills that you guys have in your wheelhouse is absolutely insane. And you guys just create your portfolio, create a resume, and you'll see if you're ready to transition to do that. Because I can say from the dev side, because I've done content creation as well. So from the content creation side to the dev side, there's still a lot of fun to be had on the dev side. Like that's like some of my friends that do work in the content creation space have said like, oh, like I don't want to work a boring desk job, right? I wouldn't even like Luke, I wouldn't say that we work a boring desk job. Every day is a new day. It's crazy. You know, I might be sitting at my desk now, but I'm also live streaming to you guys and just kind of shits and giggles kind of thing, right? So just you never know what's out there, and you might be passionate about it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just to go off topic again real quick, just to kind of I keep seeing a few like kind of like product suggestions, dev announcements and stuff like that, like regarding Slash and more insight into like Trovo points and stuff like that. Obviously, yeah, if you want to DM me personally, I can obviously make these suggestions internally and send them over to the product team. Obviously, just to kind of answer the Trovo points one. The reason that is like a hidden metric is because they're always changing the algorithm behind it, because we don't want people to find ways to abuse it, basically. It's designed to be a metric that measures a community's value fairly. You know, obviously that does change from time to time based on like the platform overall and variety of different things, but yeah, that's the main reason, is we just don't want it to be too open that it could be abused, like certain things we've had in the past, you know, like watch hours and stuff is easily abusable. So yeah, sorry to go off topic and more devy stuff, but yeah, if any suggestions product wise, please DM me personally, because this stream is more about a chit chat and I guess personal opinions and tea time.
Yeah, we're not Trovo devs today. We're just Autumn and Luke, and I don't have tea. I have coffee. That's cold.
No, I've
right
only
now.
got water.
Water. I love.
But a bottle of water.
A bottle of
right,
water.
time to take the piss out the British guy. Here we go.
Whenever my English friends, I'm talking to them, and like I have one that I always go out with, and like when we're asking, she's like, she really pronounces the T really hard, and then I'm like, I wonder if like Luke and Josh do that as well. And I started thinking about that. Let's see. I suggest to recognize streamers with crypto and create more challenges for each space and or team. That's actually pretty good idea. What got you into streaming? Is that a question for us? Oh, Luke, what got you into streaming?
I think I was really making YouTube videos at the time, and I saw streaming as something new. Like I think at the time, Twitch had just turned from Justin TV into Twitch, and it was all the craze. Like all the YouTubers were jumping on it and stuff like that. And I thought, I'll give this a go. And I actually ended up enjoying it more than making videos. So yeah, that's just that.
I have recently started my streaming journey. If you guys have seen, I've always been the person that did short form content. Live streaming for me is just it was scary because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be like completely bare to you guys is how I saw it, but it's been so much fun. So what got me into streaming is Trovo and you guys. This is a tea time. Where is tea? I mean, if you were here at the beginning of this stream, I think we were serving some tea. Like we are here for a good time, but we're also here for a long time. Can't really speak about other people or industry companies in the industry. So there's your tea. What is some juicy tea that we can share with them? Like I'm trying to think.
I don't know. Right. Well, then maybe put it out as a question then. What, as viewers or streamers on Trovo, would you love to know that staff members could potentially give an insight into without losing our jobs? But no. Like obviously, if there's something you genuinely are interested in the industry that you think we could potentially give an insight into without being too harsh or whatever, then yeah, we can try that. What would you love to know?
That's the whole purpose of this stream, is to kind of give those takes to you guys. And yeah, next stream, like if there is a specific topic that you guys see that you really want us to discuss and offer our input on, let us know. Like we want to do this at least once a month. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in between then. So just DM it to us. I'll probably create a poll. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of this kind of thing. And I think it would be great for you guys to see like our taking it, like our experience, Luke being a former streamer himself, and then also like us now working in the industry. I think we have some unique perspectives to share, right, Luke?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very one of those. If you don't know, I have an email.
One of those would be realizing that there is a lot more tea spilt on LinkedIn than you would believe. I always thought LinkedIn was a very professional network, but I tell you what, I go on LinkedIn now. That's one thing I will say to you guys. If you're interested in learning about the gaming industry, follow as many different people or connect or network, whatever, with as many different people on LinkedIn as possible that are in the industry as possible, because you will see so many different takes on different things. And it is brilliant. Okay, it's a bit of like a back and forward. It can be a bit juicy sometimes, but yeah, LinkedIn is definitely not as professional as I thought it was.
I would agree. Like some of the stuff that I see from highly respected individuals, former bosses of mine, and some of the things that I see on there, I'm like, whoa. And it's a great education tool as well. There's so much I learn about, like, what other companies are working on, other things, rumors, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're not on there, get on there. Someone said, what does it mean? DM, mail, Twitter, Trovo, what, anywhere? That question's directed to us. Can you clarify a little bit more? Discuss T500 and the requirements and how it works. Definitely happy to answer that. Just go ahead and DM us. We want to keep this less Debbie as possible and more tea spill.
Yeah. An interesting one from T-shirts, and I think someone else kind of linked onto this. And I think this is where an interesting take from a personal staff member and former streamer is probably quite interesting. But going on to your comment saying that content is not king here and cash is, unfortunately, I would say it would be slightly naive to presume the world isn't run like that. The content is king when it comes to yourself. Yes, it's your entertainment, what you offer your community, and the value that your content brings to your viewers in order for them to support you and be able to sustain what you want to do. But ultimately, to a platform that is geared around being sustainable, then you can't expect to receive a paycheck just because your content is amazing. If your content brings value to your community, then that's great. Honestly, 100% I agree. I love that. But at the end of the day, content being however people might deem it, like I might find a favorite streamer on here that is maybe only making $10 a month from subscriptions or whatever, but to me, I would want to pay him $100 a month. If I could, I would. But at the end of the day, a platform and a business isn't looking at how amazingly awesome or incredible your content is. You could have the production quality of an Avatar film, but it doesn't mean that you're going to earn money in a payment or a T500 tier equivalent to the quality of that content. Unfortunately, a business is a business and has to generate value that comes in and reward streamers based on that value. Obviously, yeah, as you said, if there are streamers trying to get up there in that value by utilizing treasure boxes and tools, fair enough. But you've got to be able to kind of understand that content is not always going to be, content being king is not what's going to drive value to you and drive value to the platform that can effectively then drive sustainable value or rewards back to you, if that makes sense. Sorry, that was kind of a way of beating around the bush a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, not to be totally harsh, but it is a little bit harsh. Like, money doesn't grow on trees, and it's really expensive to run a platform. Like, all the behind stuff, like for you to be even able to stream anywhere on a platform, like all the behind the scenes, all the things that go into it cost a lot of money, right? If you didn't have, Trovo, Twitch, Kick, whatever, where would your content go, right? Like, you're creating amazing content, but if you don't have a channel to put it on, how are you gonna make money, right? So like I see the comment a lot, like basically, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but basically, yeah, a lot of people just expect companies and all of that to shell out all this money without giving anything. Like, this is meant to be like a mutually beneficial relationship. We give a lot, you give a lot, to make both successful. You can't have one without the other. Are we still looking into console application? I will answer that because we get this question a lot. So yes, is that something we're looking into? Absolutely. Is that something we want to do? Absolutely. Just right now, it's further down the pipeline because we haven't been able to justify the amount of resources it would take to make that happen right now. Is it something we are going to do eventually? 100%. But yeah, it's definitely not at the forefront right now.
So yeah, I do enjoy the fact that this conversation has led on to some questions. I'm glad Luke and Anna explain this. More streamers that are bashing the system need to learn about business and well explained. Appreciate that. I agree, but are there a way to take people out of the T4 and just selling? We do genuinely disqualify people if we believe there is a level of abuse. But what's also to say that while streamers may be utilizing these features, and some of them utilizing them in a fair way, what's to say that they're not also busting their butts? Fair enough. If they're sat there streaming rebroadcasted content, or sat there with no visuals and just gameplay or whatever for 24 hours a day, and then utilizing boxes, for instance, to boost that, then fair enough. Most of the time they probably will be disqualified. But it's very difficult to say what you might feel a streamer is not busting their butt and deserves that over yourself, it's a very difficult one to kind of weigh up, and as staff, admins, etc., we do have a whole moderation team that look into to reports and stuff like that and monitor channels that they believe might be doing this. And there is genuinely a fair few disqualifications that happen each month, to give you an insight. It's not like we don't at all, but we do have to have people that manually review these cases and have to be fair and non-biased, and as a streamer myself, I can understand if you maybe are slightly biased when you feel that way towards other creators that you feel are maybe getting more out of the system than you potentially, whether or not you feel that is justified or deserved. It is a difficult one. But how about quality of content? It's important. Of course it's important, but it should be important to you and your community. Whilst it obviously is important to an extent to us as a platform, as I said, that there are moderators that will disqualify streamers from the T500 for their quality of content being below a very low point. It's also hard to judge that, whilst you might sit there and expect, as I said, avatar production level quality, a streamer who's just sat there with his webcam aimed at his screen, playing some games, chatting, doing whatever he can do because that's all he can afford. It's harsh to be able to say, no, you can't be part of something because you aren't there in that level of career yet, So it's a very difficult one. I think we have to try and be as non-biased as possible, and it is a difficult one to kind of say behind that, yeah.
Also, just to add, kind of, we are all human. I get a lot of complaints like, why hasn't this report been answered or whatever? Like, we have a team hard at work, but it's impossible to work 24 hours in a day. And as you can imagine, we deal with a lot of reports, a lot of different messages. So the type of like comments that I see all the time is like, you don't care, or like, like you're favoriting someone or whatever, like, or nothing happened to this streamer when I reported this. Like, again, we're just human. There's only 24 hours a day, and we can't work 24 of those hours. So give us time, give us a little bit of grace. So many people following this space. That's amazing. All right, guys, we have a couple minutes left. So yeah, sorry. Get your take in, Luke. Get it. Spill the hot tea.
Another interesting one about kind of different platforms, percentages, cuts and stuff like that. I think, as we've seen with a lot of new platforms in the industry, and dare I even say it, Trovo initially, with offerings that are incredibly good and maybe not sustainable, which is why Trovo has obviously pivoted, which we might see from newer platforms that are also offering what seems to be very generous revenue shares that might eventually have to pivot away from that due to not being sustainable. I think as well
eventually
also
they will. I can affirmatively say they will. It's a great tactic, I would say from a marketing perspective, it's definitely a great tactic in the beginning for growth. But eventually, how are you going to maintain that growth when the cash flow stops? And it will. That's my hot take.
No, definitely. It's an interesting one. Obviously, when you look at how they may be backed, you can see how it might be sustainable in some manners, but then you can see that maybe potentially growth of a younger audience that's not beneficial to that audience that they're trying to target specifically, which gives them that current sustainability or profit that potentially is coming in. If that audience grows, say Minecraft audience, younger kids, they're not going to be that target audience for their initial investors, so it might be something that they struggle with. But as I said, I think realistically later on down the line we'll see what is sustainable, and hopefully more platforms can work on building stuff or features, monetization features, whatever offerings that are sustainable but continue to improve and offer creators more, but also based on the value that they provide, so.
All right, I honestly think that's a great place to stop for today. It was a long 60 minutes, a hot 60 minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoy this type of podcast format. Hopefully it's been insightful for you. We definitely want to do more of these. We will be back probably next month. Also, it's our birthday in a month from now, because May 28th, I believe, is our birthday. So definitely trying to see if I can throw a rager for that. I think as staff members definitely need a rager, and you guys as a community as well. But yeah, so let us know what you guys want to discuss for next month. And yeah, if you have any questions, anything, please, you can DM me. My name's Autumn. I'm here on Trovo X Autumn X, and then also on Discord as just Autumn, ANUM. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. I love these types of conversations where I get to interact with you guys. I'll probably do a stream today if I have time. I'm going to concert tonight, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. So I am out. Luke, go
ahead. You can find me on I'm on Discord as well, but the best way to get in contact with me is via the Twitch messaging system. itself, somewhere up there, or just via Twitter or even email. My email is just above me. It's just luke@trovo.live. Any suggestions that I can pass on to the product team, any questions or any support you need, anything clearing up, whatever, always happy to try and help. So feel free to reach out to me, even if you just fancy a chat.
Yeah, you can also message me on Twitter. Help me become an influencer. I'm just on Twitter, Anum Trovo, so ANUMTROVO. But yeah, reach me in those 3 places, and we will see you guys next month. Bye, guys.